look like you were sailing to the finish line, and now you're sitting here with me. How are you feeling right now?
A little depressed, a little bummed, obviously, and I think I got a little too high in the game. You know, I was.
What do you mean, too high?
I was like, you know, obviously I fought from the bottom, and I got to where I got, and you know, I was almost spending that money inside that house. You know, I was getting a little too confident with myself, and things were really rolling my way, and maybe I made some choices that I would have took back, you know, in hindsight. But
like what? Like looking back now, what mistakes do you think you made?
Well, I think looking back now, maybe the Russell decision might have not been the best decision, but you know, I don't want to pinpoint one thing that I did or should have done or what ifs, because I'll drive myself crazy, and being in there, it's already crazy, you know. I wish I would have won that POV. That's the one point. If there was a pinpoint, the POV was it. If I won that POV, I'm confident I would have won that game.
But it's not like you did poorly in it. It's just that Michelle, you know, rocked it. I mean, how would you have guessed, right? I mean, you can only control your destiny so much in those games.
Right.
You know, it's more like strategic moves you have to make correctly.
Well, I think if Michelle wouldn't have won, if anyone else would have won, I think Michelle would have went home. I really do. I think that in my heart. And if she was the only one, I had a 4-in-1 chance of, you know, taking, you know, being safe that week. And it didn't happen that way. It wasn't in the cards for me. And yeah, you go. You're better.
No, you're doing just fine. All right, but the minute you didn't win the POV, you kind of knew, wow, my chances of staying are really slim.
Yeah.
And you knew you had Michelle's vote, and you campaigned for a vote from Natalie, but you barely campaigned to Kevin. How come?
You know what? I know it's $500,000, but I do have my pride, you know? And, you know, if someone spits in your face, you're going to go knock on their door the next day and be like, hey, do you want to go play? I don't think so, you know? So he just stabbed me in the back. I didn't want to even talk to the guy, let alone just look at his face, you know? So there was no way I was getting his vote. He just stabbed me in the back. He wanted a strong player out of the house. He couldn't get Michelle out. I was the next one to go, and I just felt like there was no use in talking to him. My road was getting Natalie, and that was the road I chose.
Are you saying that your pride could have cost you $500,000?
Maybe, you know. It's done a lot of things in my life, you know, for the negative, so chalk it up to another one. But, you know, I really thought I could get Natalie, you know, but Kevin just did not leave her side the whole week. I mean, literally, she took a shower and he was on that little couch and couldn't get a word in edgewise, you know, with her. And I thought maybe by, thanks. I thought maybe by like spinning it a little bit with her family or boyfriend, something like that, that I could, you know, get her vote. And I thought that was a pretty nice speech I gave at the end there.
It was a good try. Yeah. It was a good try. Do you see her eyes flickering, like maybe?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I thought maybe I got her, but.
How do you feel towards Kevin?
You know what? It was a smart move. If I was in his position, I probably would have done the same thing. He did the right move for him. Actually, I take that back. No, I wouldn't have. You know, he did the right move for him, and that was the way he played. He had one opportunity in this game to make a move, and that was the one he did, you know, which is stab someone in the back. I guess that's the game. That's what people expect in this game. It's not the way I went about playing it, you know, but some people play it like that. He didn't do anything the whole game. His first move, he stabbed someone in the back. I don't think he's going to make it to the final two, but if he does, I don't know. You got to live with that. You know, you got to live with how you make that money, you know, and if you're not going to make it the right way, how do you enjoy it? You know, that's the way I think.
Why do you think he stabbed you in the back, and when do you think he made that decision?
I think he had it planned. Now looking back on it, I think he was ready to stab me in the back once I gave him that POV. If it came down to this position, I knew he, you know, he's strong in his stand and things, you know, and I knew if things worked out exactly the way that they did, I would be gone, you know, but the chances were slim of them going that way. I was confident in me winning that POV, and when I'm confident in winning the POVs, I won, you know, and I was really confident in winning that one. I don't know, I lost focus. It was maybe too much time, you know, I don't know what it was. Something just wasn't in the cards for me that night. And
did you feel like you were losing focus during the POV competition when you were up and looking at the morphed images of people?
Yeah, it was before the competition. I was just not feeling it. I was not feeling the right vibes, and then during the competition, I was just lost. I mean, I look back on those things later on, you know, a couple of days later, and I was like, how did I not know that? You know, like where was my head at? And maybe it was everything, all the pressure added up, and knowing if I don't get this, I'm going home, because I wasn't really relying on anyone else to win but me. So maybe I put too much pressure on myself, and I couldn't pull it out that day.
Do you tip your hat to Kevin right now, or do you think That's a lying, backstabbing snake.
Yeah, 2. I tip my hat to Michelle, if anybody in that house.
Why?
She's a good player, you know. She came up with big moves, or not big moves. She came up with big wins when she needed to, and I respect that, you know. She won fair and square, that POV, and my hat's off to her, not to Kevin for stabbing me in the back.
You have a lot of pride. You just mentioned that. So what are you dreading more? Facing the jurors, Jesse, Russell, Lydia, or kissing that $500,000 goodbye?
What am I?
What's like the worst? What's worse?
Oh,
having
definitely.
to walk in there with your bag, or knowing that the $500,000 is gone, out of sight?
The $500,000 for sure. But I mean, I'm not looking forward to going to that jury house. It's like you're the police officer and you put all these guys in jail, and then you're in jail yourself. You know?
Yeah, I know. I think we're going to take all our cameras from here and put them in there.
It might be a better show.
What are you going to say?
Oh man, no cameras.
We got to edit this, so we're not live right now.
Yeah, I might have to eat it for a couple days, you know, and just lay low, let them have their little pity party with me and take their shots, you know. So ultimately, they could say whatever they want. I had a hand in getting all 3 of you out, so now what, you know? Yeah. So I don't really care what they say. It's 2 weeks. I could suck it up, and really, the $500,000's what's going to be on my mind.
But are you going to be friendly with them and try and sway them, and whoever's left in the house, and try and tell them to vote the way you want, whoever you want to see?
Yeah. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. They're so tough to control anyway, you know what I mean, in their own mind, and they're so full of their ego and themselves that if I told them to do one I probably have a better chance of saying, don't vote for Jordan. They're like, oh yeah, I'll vote for Jordan. You know?
Reverse psychology.
Exactly. So that's the kind of people I'm dealing with in there. So I might take that in there with me.
And then what happens when you get a little bit of power in that house, when you become HOH? What does that do to your mind?
I think I was ready for the power because I didn't have it at any time, so I was like ready for it, and I saw what it did do to people, you know? When someone had the power, it changed them and it changed people around them, just watching early on. So,
like who? Give me some examples. Ronnie?
Well, Ronnie, not so much. Jesse just pops in my head, and then Jesse's crew, you know, like Natalie changed, and people around him. Ronnie changed, just Shima changed, just everyone in his little crew, his little area.
Oh, when someone in their crew got power,
right.
It was like they walked around.
Exactly.
Kinda.
You know, they could leave their dishes all dirty and not clean up and cook all hours of the night and make whatever noise they want, you know. And then as soon as someone else has power, things change. And then, you know, they're cleaning up a little bit and they're like, hey, that's a nice shirt you have on. Where were you the last 3 weeks? Who are you, you know?
Does that copy real life a little bit?
I guess it does, you know. People are followers in life. I'm definitely not a follower, and I proved it in that house. I went on my own. And, you know, people tend to, for some reason or another, follow people with money or follow people with the expensive cars, and it doesn't have to always be like that. You know, you could definitely make your own path in life and do what you want and still be happy just doing what you want to do. Are
you going to try and take something from this experience, whether it's being on television, getting some fame or whatever it is, and try and translate it into your life back in Chicago? Like, what do you want to do now? Well, everything I do now, I want to make a positive, you know, take the positive out of it. And there's probably a ton of positives that are going to come out of this. And, you know, I just have to sit down and see which ones work best for me. And, I mean, even if it's going back to my, you know, work or whatever it is, it's fine. As long as I have a positive experience I could take with me. I have awesome stories that I could share. So it's all, you know, you have to take the positive no matter what the situation. And ultimately, I think you'll be happy. You're also taking a trip to Hawaii, which you got out of this. That's also positive. All right, now, okay, any chance Jordan's going to get on this trip with you? Oh, my God. That's the talk in the house. Everyone's asking that. But I don't know. I told her maybe. Maybe if she wins, she's got a little extra cash. Maybe we can work something out. You're no dummy. Well, you got some cash, too, right? You got $3,000? Falling out of the sky. Yeah, we saw you jamming it in your pants. Yeah, I was hoping that key was like another coup d'etat of some sort. I'm like, tell me what that key means, maybe I'm safe. I really thought to the last moment. Do you think you carried Jordan along in this game? And do you think if you do think you did, and if she wasn't in the game, she wasn't a factor, you'd still be in there right now? Like I said, I wouldn't change anything I did in that house. And I don't know what you guys saw, you know, during the season. Everything. I know.
But, you know, she helped me more than words could describe, more than, you know, winning a game could describe. I won, you know, my share of, you know, games in that house. But on a day-to-day basis, she kept me sane, and I talked to her, kept my emotions in control, and just kept me sane. You know, there's no other word to describe it. So if there was a partnership there, it was 50-50, and I wouldn't change a thing with that.
How's she going to, aw.
Yeah.
How's she going to do without you now? Again?
You know, I taught her all about being positive and looking at the positive things, and I told her which direction to go in this house. You know, grab onto Michelle. Michelle's the strongest player. Michelle really could ultimately win this thing, and Jordan really legitimately has a good shot of getting into the final two. I really believe that.
We're going to see what she's got.
Yeah, we will.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thanks, Julie.
Good luck to you.